In a past vlog, I've talked about how I get in this very creative zone and I get this idea and I can't help but go with it, and it's like I just can't stop myself, and I just kind of have to kind of like just let it out. Funny and weird thing is that last night, for some reason, this old little thing of mine came back to mind. See, when I say that I'm a creative person, I mean like I'm creative. Like I do music whenever I get the chance now. I'm a dad now, so it's like when you're a dad, you kind of understand that when these hobbies that you used to have when you had all the time in the world to do it, and when you think about it now as an adult, you kind of think like, man, I kind of sort of took advantage of it a little bit, because now that you've grown up, you've gone through all this stuff, and you just kind of like when you just want to wind down and just not do anything, you want to go back to doing that. It's a little bit more difficult because, again, adulting stuff gets in the way, life, you know what I mean. So the other thing that I'm talking about is this other habit, I guess you can say, that I had back then. It used to be I used to tattoo. I used to be tattooing. And just last night I was thinking about it, and I kind of sort of missed that. Tattooing was just something else that, once again, it's just another creative way of just kind of expressing myself. And I didn't work in no tattoo shop or anything like that. I considered myself to be an okay tattooer, or there's a term for tattooers who work from home. I believe it was scratchers. So I was proud to be a decent scratcher. In fact, during the recording of this vlog, I actually went ahead and found my old tattoo Instagram, dude. It's pretty old. In fact, I'll just put it up somewhere up here on the screen so that you guys can go ahead and check that out. Again, I never considered myself the best, although the last thing that I didn't do was a portrait, and this is a very specific portrait. It was one that I got to choose, that I got to tattoo on a really good friend of mine. Shout out to Boyo, you know who you are. I got to tattoo a portrait of Tim Curry playing Dr. Frankenfurter. Unfortunately, I do not have proof of that. But let me tell you, it actually came out pretty damn good for my very first, well, actually technically my second portrait. I actually have tried one that didn't go very well, but actually luckily I did it on myself. Maybe I'll go ahead and put something of it somewhere over here as well. But again, tattooing was just another extension of what I just had to kind of sort of let out. And like I said, tattooing was just one of the things I really enjoyed doing to kind of let out all this stuff that I want to let out. There was the music, there was tattooing, but in between all of that though, there was always a camera somehow involved. I was actually this close to actually making a YouTube channel about me tattooing. But then tragedy struck. See, when I started tattooing, it was about, what was it, 2020, actually it was before 2000s. So let's say, yeah, it was early 2000s. And some stuff happened that, again, I've mentioned this in the vlog before. I'm gonna try my best to explain this story. It's just a story, but I'm gonna try my best. Anyways, off topic. So yeah, and also COVID struck. Nobody was leaving the house. Nobody was visiting anybody. And so that lasted for like a really, really long time. And because of that, I didn't have people come over to get tattooed kind of sort of went to waste. Tattoo ink does expire, and you don't want to use expired ink at all. Not only is that bad for the client or your friends or whatever, but very bad on you, because you know all kinds of shit can happen if you use that kind of stuff. What you just saw me unbox this now, or take out of the box, was my tattoo machines. Let me show you. See, these are not your traditional tattoo machines. These are called rotary machines. And basically, it means that the motor spins inside, or rotates, I mean, hence rotary, and is able to make this go up and down, hence making it a bit of a smoother ride. Me personally, this works just the same way. It's just designed where all you got to do is for this one, there's different needles. There's cartridges, which unfortunately I don't have anymore because again they expire as well. And there's cartridges, which basically like little needles around that big, covered in like this plastic, and this little plunger that makes them go up and down. All you do is kind of like connect it in there, twist, and it's good to go. And the way that the plunger gets pushed down is with this here. This one's probably was my favorite because you can use cartridges, and you could just use disposable grips that look similar to this but disposable, and you're able to use cartridges, or you can use your traditional needles. So that was my machines. These are my machines, and like I said, I was just thinking about them just last night, how much I missed using them so much. I just miss tattooing. What I also want is a tattoo. I want a tattoo, but I want a tattoo, and I want to get tattooed at the same time. But anyways, the other box that you saw me, well, the other item you saw me pull out of the other box, which is this right here. This thing is used to power wirelessly the tattoo machine. So let's see, I was charging one. In the meantime, I started this entire vlog. So let's see if I remember how to turn this on. Yeah, boy, I miss that sound. Oh, it's set to 7.8. This is lining speed. That is lining speed right there. Shading speed, me personally, what would I use it at? I think I would use it somewhere around there. Can you hear the difference? Can you hear the difference between the lining and shading? God, I miss that sound. Let's do one more. Let's do the other one. Yeah. Can you hear that? That's shading. What was awesome about this machine is that it was quiet. It was practically silent. This was a silent killer, this one. Another reason why it was my favorite. I love my tattoo machines. I really, really do. But like I mentioned, ever since the certain thing happened, I lost all of my inks. I lost pretty much everything. Everything expired. And I've just kind of been holding on to them, thinking in the back of my head that maybe one day I can come back to it. But that time has not yet been presented to me. So now I've kind of sort of been on this decision where I should maybe, quite possibly, sell my machines, because there's other things that I want that would kind of sort of help make content a lot more interesting. But I just can't, I can't decide just yet. But in the end, I think what really is gonna end up happening is that I kind of have to kind of have to sell them because they're just kind of sitting there, not getting used, not doing that beautiful, beautiful buzzing noise that they make. And that really, really sucks because, again, it was just another way of me expressing myself. But I think that chapter in my life is kind of, sort of, maybe done. Again, I miss it. I think about it every now and then. But this here, my vlogging channel, my Booze and Chill channel, which by the way I'll leave the link in the description down below, is kind of, sort of, I think this is it. I think this is it. Video is king, and quite frankly, with a full-time job, full-time parent, the vlogging, the YouTubing in general, 2 channels, is kind of hard to actually find the time to go back and do that. Well, I think that pretty much ends this vlog, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around. Let me know, what do you guys do? What are your creative ways of, you know, processing? What are your hobbies? What is it that you enjoy doing? Do you tattoo? Do you also do YouTube? Are you into all that stuff with the music? That's what I'm into, music and YouTubing, vlogging, stuff like that. Let me know in the comments down below. And that pretty much is settled for that. Just kind of wanted to let this idea out, put it out there. Keep creating, enjoy yourself while doing it, and don't let anything get in your way of your creative process. That's my last words to you. Bye.